Hello again and welcome. I am the Gentleman in Black, and here we go with another intro pack opening for Shadows over Innistrad. So today we have the Black Green, the Golgari intro pack for those familiar with Ravnica terminology. And this one comes with Soul Swallower. So let's just get straight into it. As I've said before, these intro packs are really for new players. Quite obviously. I mean, it comes with sort of rules inserts and... yeah, but I mean, the reason I buy them is because they're fine. You know, you get a good amount of cards from the set. They're just, yeah, they're absolutely fine. And for sort of about 45 quid, I mean, you can pre-order them for about that much. Yeah, I'm okay paying that for the amount of cards I get, really. So here we have Soul Swallower as our promotional foil. And it is 2 and 2 green for a 3/3 with Trample. And Delirium, at the beginning of your upkeep, put 3+1/1 counters on it if you have Delirium. So every turn this thing gets bigger. So that's not bad at all. We've seen it before, it's, you know. Then something else we've seen before, but I absolutely love, Inexorable Blob. So it's 2 and a green for a 3/3 with Delirium. When it attacks, if there are 4 more card types and 1 cards in your graveyard, put a 3/3 green ooze token attacking with it. Oh, it's so good. So much value. Okay, so let's get into the deck itself. What is in this deck? Well, the first thing that's in the deck is 2 copies of Groundskeeper. Okay, it's 2 for a 1/1, and you can pay 1 on a green to return target basic land from your graveyard to your hand. It's not super exciting. Then we've got Lone Dryad. 1 for a 1/2. Tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. Again, not super exciting, but I guess it combos with the Groundskeeper. So you can tap both of them on turn 2 to get an extra mana to play, I guess, another Groundskeeper. Ooh, 3 copies of Mulgraf Scavenger. Okay, so this is 1 and a green for a 0/4. And it gets +3/0 as long as there are 4 more card types and 1 cards in your graveyard. So, with Delirium, it becomes a 3/4 for 2. That's not bad, and until that point it just blocks things really well. I don't mind it at all, I think it's an alright card. Next up we have 2 copies of Obsessive Skinner. So he's 2 for a 1/1, but when he enters the battlefield, put a +1/1 counter on target creature. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if you have Delirium, put a +1 counter on target creature. So he's pretty good, actually. Then we have 2 copies of Wicker Witch, a 3/1 for 3 artifact. Again, probably just to put Delirium in your graveyard. I imagine this is quite Delirium central. Next up we have 1 copy of Wildfield Scarecrow. 3 for a 1/4 with Defender, but you can sacrifice him to search for up to 2 basic lands, reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library. So not too bad at all. Then 1 copy of my favourite card from the first pre-release. This won me a game on the 10-turn clock with Crow of Dark Tidings. It's 2 and a black for a 2/1. Flying, when it enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So again, good for setting up Delirium. Just a good card all round, really. You've got 2 copies of the Creepy Ravnica-esque art Tooth Collector. 2 and a black, 3/2. When he enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until the end of turn, and Delirium do the same thing in their upkeep every turn. Very, very cool. Next up we have 2 copies of Stallion of Ashmouth. So it's 3 and a black for a 3/3. But if you have Delirium, you can pay 1 on a black, and it gets +1/1 until the end of turn. Activate this ability only if there are 4 or more card types and 1 cards in your graveyard. So, it's pretty good, actually. Next up we have Ghoul Steed, the Zombie Horse. 4 and a black for a 4/4. And it's got an activated ability where you can pay 2 and a black to discard 2 cards, return Ghoul Steed from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So the zombie horse that just keeps coming back. Just keeps giving. That certainly is the gift. So, Next up we have Hound of the Firebox. It's 4 and a black for a 5/3 with Delirium. If it's got Delirium, it gains Menace. So not too bad at all, actually. Not too bad. And then one of my other favourite cards, which there seems to be a lot of, we have Morkrut Necropod. A 7/7 Menace for 5 and a black. What's the downside? Well, whenever you attack or block with it, you have to sacrifice another land. If you're blocking with this, you are playing it wrong. Trust me, it is a very good card though. Next up we have Kessig Direswine. It's 4 green for 6/6 with Delirium. And if it has Delirium, it gains Trample. Again, a good card. Oh, Foul Orchard, Warped Landscape. This is not bad at all. This looks to be alright, actually. Very alright. 2 copies of Explosive Apparatus. Everybody knows what that does. 3 in a tap, sacrifice it, deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Alright, not bad at all. You've got a copy of Vessel and Nascency, 2 in fact, which is an enchantment for 1. Reveal top 4 cards of your library. You may pay... let's start this again. 1 and green, sacrifice it, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put an artifact, creature, enchantment or land or planeswalker from among them into your hand, put the rest into your graveyard. This is great for setting up Delirium. It's just a good all-round card. Next up we have Deadweight as a 2-of. So Deadweight is enchanted creature gets -2/-2. Excellent removal. 1 copy of Fork in the Road. 1 of green sorcery, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and reveal them, put 1 into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Then shuffle your library. Again, this deck is very Delirium central, looks very focused. Then we have a Rabid Bite. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. I love the artwork. I love the flavor text. You should have seen the look on both their faces. Then we have Crawling Sensation. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 2 cards, and when 1 or more land cards are put into the graveyard, you get an insect. Merciless Resolve. As additional cost to cast it, sacrifice a creature or land, draw 2 cards. Not my favourite at all. Might Beyond Reason. 3 and a green, instant. Put 2+1/1 counters on target creature. Put 3 if you have Delirium. Throttle. Very good removal here. 4 and a black. Target creature gets -4/-4 until the end of turn at instant speed. Excellent. Love it. Then the last card, a slightly warped Liliana's Indignation. Put the top X cards of your library into your graveyard. Target player loses 2 life for each creature card put into your graveyard this way. Not a massive fan. But here we go with the fun part. So, now we'll open up the boosters, and as usual, if there's anything that's worth putting in the deck, I will tell you. So, straight off the bat, we have another copy of Merciless Resolve, which I'm not a fan of, but could definitely do work in this deck. Pottergeist, Stormcoat Mentor, no. I guess you could run another copy of Rabid Bite, sorry. Or go up to 4 Moldgraph Scavengers, maybe. And our flip card is a Cursed Witch. So 3 and a black for a 4/2. Spells that target her cost 1 less to cast that your opponents cast against her. When she dies, return her to the battlefield as Infectious Curse. It's an enchantment, an enchant aura curse, enchant player. Spells you cast against them cost 1 less to cast, and at the beginning of the enchanted player's upkeep, they lose a life and you gain a life. This card will most likely... It's not good for the deck, but it's just a good all-round card, and I would definitely probably play it in this deck. Next up we have Stitchwind Scarb. It's a 3 and a blue for a 3/1 flyer. You can pay 1 and a blue to discard 2 cards, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Yep, again, the wrong colours for this deck, but still a good card. Next up is Howlpack Resurgence. So 2 and a green, flash, enchantment. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +1/1 and has trample. Again, not super relevant for this deck, but a good card nonetheless. Next up is Malevolent Whispers. So, Malevolent Whispers is 3 and a red. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn, and tap that creature. It gains +2 and haste until the end of turn. But it also has Madness of 3 and a red. Not good for this deck at all. Not the right colours, for starters. Next up we have Engulf the Shore. This is our rare. So it's 3 and a blue, instant, return to their hands all creatures with toughness less than the number of islands you control. So it's not good for the deck, but I like to put the rares out regardless. And next pack. So hopefully, I'll just move some of the excess stuff out of the way. Hopefully this one will be very good for this deck. The Fox, no. Crow of Dark Tidings, yes, yes, and more yes. I will be running the Crow. I love the Crow of Dark Tidings. Ghostly Wings, no. Intrepid Provisioner, probably not. Watcher in the Web, again. You could sideboard it against decks that you're finding hard to deal with, but probably not. And our flip card is Breakneck Rider. So he is 3 for a 3/3, and he transforms into Neck Breaker. Attacking creatures you control get +1/0 and have trample, and he's a 4/3. He's very good. We like him. Next up, Broken Concentration, a bad counter spell. 3 blue, counter target spell with madness of 3 and a blue. Next up we have Humble the Brute. 4 and a white, instant, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, and then investigate. Excellent. There we go, there's a card for this, Foul Orchard. And Mind Rack Demon. Well, that mythic would slot straight into this deck. It has Delirium, it mills cards, it's just so good. So it is 2 and 2 black for a 4/5 flying trample. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. And with Delirium, at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 4 life unless you have Delirium. This card goes straight in here, and wow. I think for once we've actually opened a load of cards that would just go straight into the deck. Yeah. Well, there we have it. There is the... Sorry about the absolute mess of this place. There is the Golgari intro pack. Thank you very much for watching as always. I'll see you next time.